Hey guys, what up? This is Khan, Mr. So Real, and in today's Division video, we are going to be taking a look at the new global patch notes for the 1.6.1 update. And yeah, it's about time. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this. On the Ubisoft Division forum, there are a lot of red ones. I think these are probably ones they want to bring to attention. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at these and we're going to talk about the ones in red, and then I have some in my notes that I want to talk about as well. So if you want to see the patch notes in full, because I'm not going to cover each and every one of these, as you can see, it's pretty long. So you can go ahead and check that out. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can find it, and then you can pore over each and every one of the details for the patch notes if you like. If you just want some of the updates for what is going to be kind of important for most players, then definitely stick around. I'm going to cover that, and I probably won't chime in too much on everything, but some of the things that I think are important I will talk about. So why don't we get into this and talk about the patch notes for the 1.6.1 patch, because it should be out by the time you watch this video. Let's go. Alright guys, so here we are back looking at the patch notes. I've zoomed in a little bit to make it a bit easier to see, so if you want to read along or whatever, you can. I'll stop it right here. So I'm gonna, if it's red, I'm gonna talk about it, but if it's not red and it's not in my notes, then I definitely will not talk about it. You can go ahead and check it out on the forum, or you can, maybe you can see it here and you can read it for yourself. So let's get into this and get started. So the first thing that you need to know is about the new features, which are the loadouts. So what are the loadouts? If you don't know, it's where you save your weapons, gear, skills, and talents into a kind of packaged loadout so that you can switch between different types of characters. And you can only do this when you're out of combat. So you can't be in the middle of a firefight, notice, oh damn, I would be much better off with my sniper build, but you know, I want to switch. Well, you can't switch the loadout. You can, you know, go into your inventory and change a weapon, but you won't be able to switch your loadout from that screen. But I don't know, maybe they changed it so you can't change weapons, but I think that would be weird if they did, so you should be able to do that. Now there will be 6 different loadouts per character, so if you have 4 different characters, then 4 times 6. But if you only have one, then you only have access to 6 different loadouts on your character. Now moving along, going into the gameplay, in red we have the aim assist will no longer be active when players hip fire with a controller. So if you were using the MP7, which is probably why they had the blueprint for sale this weekend, check out my good or garbage video where I go over the blueprints and the weapons and all of that stuff and give you my recommendations every week. But yeah, the MP7 was on sale again. This was not the first time that it was on sale, so it was on sale again, and that's kind of the hipfire champion for a lot of people, and so are a lot of the SMGs. But you will no longer have any kind of aim assist when it comes to hipfire, so it should become very interesting for PvP in the Dark Zone to see if it really will affect people or not. Time will tell. We will see. It doesn't specify if this is on PC or if this is on console. I know some console players, some PC players use controllers because they come from console, but who knows? It doesn't really matter. You're gonna be better off with the mouse anyway. The mouse is probably better anyway. All right, so moving along to some of the things that that they talk about. Finally, they fixed a bug where the grenades thrown by the LMB would cause stagger and damage before actual detonation. This was extremely annoying, and I'm sure a lot of people have had this happen to them. So yeah, good thing that that is fixed. Yay! Now, moving along into the items, there are some item changes that have happened. So let's take a look at those. Now, the backpacks are now going to hold 120 items. So if you have all of the base of operation perks unlocked. If you don't have all of the base of operations perks unlocked, you only get 110 slots in your bag. Now level 34 extended mags will roll from 109 to 121. Before, they were only rolling up to 111. So if you have some extended mags that have 111, you probably have a whole bunch of them. They were supposed to go up to 121. So hopefully the ones that are 111 will change to 121, but knowing things, they may not. We will see. Nimble will apply heal over time in 4 ticks over 4 seconds and not be just like one chunk. So with Nimble, you could go onto cover. If you had the Nimble holster, you could select a place where you wanted to run to get cover to activate the Nimble perk. And then when you got to the cover, you would have this huge chunk of health that would just instantly come back. So now that you won't be able to do that, it kind of be over time as you stay on the cover. So if you are on one piece of cover and then you run to another piece, if you get off of that cover, the Nimble will stop. It's not written in the sheet, but a lot of people have already talked about it. They know that. So it's going to be, as long as you're on cover, in 4 ticks, you will get 4 segments or 4 pieces of health. I don't know, however it determines, and then you will get your health back from that. So that is a big change. Now, one of the banes of a lot of people's existence when it comes to the exotic were the ninja bag has been removed. It's been removed from the loot table and no chance of you getting it from an exotic cache. Now, that doesn't mean that if you had one, it has been taken out of your game. It will still be in your inventory, but it will not fall from the exotic caches or any other ways to get exotics. You won't have to worry about getting one if you didn't really need one. So shout outs to John Jones. You don't have to worry about it, even though you got about 3, 4, 5 of them. All right, now moving along into talents. We have some talent changes that people can take a look at. Some of the ones that I thought were important and would kind of run for overall gameplay. They fixed a bug where shrapnel didn't apply to nearby enemies when you used a 4-piece Predator's Mark. I thought that this worked all right, but I guess it didn't. So in all honesty, Predator's Mark, I think in 1.6.1 is going to come back pretty strong, and I think you should expect to see it a lot more in Last Stand, and you may even see it more in the Dark Zone. It should apply even more, which can be pretty strong. So be on the lookout for Predator's Mark and make sure you have some bleed resist on your armor. Now, in other news about talents, there's a bug fix where Fear Tactics and Wildfire, the ones that applied shock and the one that applied burn, did not apply correctly to nearby enemies. So this is a similar thing with shrapnel. So these kind of area, well, not area effect, but status effect, things just weren't happening right, or maybe they weren't happening enough. So expect to see even more Wildfire and even more of the, getting shocked from Fear Tactics. It's gonna be pretty crazy. Another thing is they fixed a bug where the Pecan talent didn't work on NPCs. It did work on NPCs, excuse me. It worked on NPCs, but it did not work on players. So if you like using LMGs and you enjoyed the Pecan, rejoice, because now you will finally get that Pecan talent to work on players. All right, so now looking at the weapons, pretty much gonna cover both of these, I think. Burst fire weapons will now have a maximum RPM, making it impossible to reach non-burst rate fire with specific control modifications. This includes burst fire MP5, the FAL, and the 93R. So I know that some people and the computer people or the PC people hit me up to you could have it set so that if you use the scroll wheel on your mouse, it kind of counted as a click. So you could effectively aim at somebody and just roll the mouse and have these ungodly fast rates of fire with burst fire weapons, especially the burst fire MP5. Apparently they are probably going to be changing that and it won't work anymore. I don't know if auto fire controllers had a similar thing, but if they did, then those things will not be as effective anymore. So you'll probably have to use something else. Now, another thing that they did was the base flinch has been significantly reduced on all weapons. This change affects both PvP and PvE. NPC weapons will also cause less flinch. So anything that had flinch in it, specifically the shotguns, rip to the shotguns. The flinch thing is going to be significantly. They made sure to put that word in there, significantly reduced. So yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. Shotguns are probably going to be hit pretty hard by that, and expect that in Last Stand you may actually have a chance against a shotgunner. Yay! All right, so now getting on to skills. I think a lot of people are going to be happy. The Seeker Mine Air Burst stagger effect has been completely removed. Yay! And the fire effect has been reworked into a real status effect that can be cleansed by med kits. So if you get hit by the air burst, you can effectively use a med kit and get rid of the fire and be able to fight back. And also the stagger effect won't happen, so you'll just get the damage. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to seeing how people play with that, but those things have been fixed, so that's a lot of good news for people who did not like the Seeker Mines. Now, another thing is that they fixed a bug where throwable skills would become unusable after receiving status effect while aiming the skill. So effectively, if you had, let's say, the mobile cover and you wanted to throw the mobile cover down and do something, if you were hit by some kind of status effect while you were about to throw it, and you had that little orange icon to kind of show you where it was going to land and all that stuff, it would basically be unusable. Well, now they fixed that bug so that even if you are in a status effect, you will be able to use it afterwards. After you get out of the status effect, you should be able to use it. Now, another thing is that they fixed a bug where players wouldn't get heals from first aid if they are damaged while in the radius of the skill. So if you were getting hit while you were trying to run through a skill, it wouldn't give you the heal for some odd reason, and they fixed that apparently. Now, another thing is they fixed a bug with booster shot where applying the skill another time while the buff was still active wouldn't refresh its duration. So basically what this means is if I use booster shot and the timer is still ticking, if my friend gave me another booster shot, then that means that the timer wouldn't reset and that it would just not really work. Well, now it will work and the timer will reset. So that means booster shot is going to be really strong. So expect to see lots of people running in pairs, healing each other with booster shot and keeping it up for a very long time until you can kill them. That is going to make having a healer on your team very, very, very important, because that extra damage from booster shot plus over heals and all that other stuff, it's going to be pretty nuts. Expect to see that kind of shift in the meta. You heard it here first. Now moving on to missions, incursions, underground, survival, all of this stuff, you guys can check it out on your own. I'm not going to go into specific details except for this one in survival, just because it's red. It said they fixed a bug in survival where a group of 2 would be disbanded if one member would be disconnected and reconnect immediately. So they fixed a bug where you lost a group if something happened to your internet. I have no idea what that is about, but if it happens, then yeah, that bug has been fixed. So I won't be going over all of the things for those groups, but I will talk about some of the important things that I found for Last Stand. I won't be going through all of these either, but I will go into some of the ones that I thought were pretty important. Now they've added something called proficiency marks to the Last Stand, and proficiency marks are rewards to the player who scores the highest in a particular gameplay role. So each team gets their own list of proficiency marks. Multiple proficiency marks can be given to the same player. Proficiency marks are updated in real time throughout the match on the scoreboard, and earning one or more proficiency marks will boost the player's personal score at the end of the Last Stand game. So these are kind of like indications to let you know, or kind of reward you for being a team player and going out and doing certain things like being a healer, getting the most number of heals, capturing points, being a PTFO player, and yeah, just doing what you're supposed to be doing instead of playing in the back and not doing much. So even if you're not getting the most kills, you could still probably kill a bunch of the NPCs and still do well, and maybe even get a proficiency mark for that. We'll see what the list is. I'm not sure what all things they're going to list for the proficiency mark, but at least it's something to kind of keep track of, letting you know which players are actually doing stuff, and giving you some kind of incentive or stuff that you may want to do while you play Last Stand. Now moving on, the improvements were made to the spawn locations to help stop spawn camping. This is going to be really good. You can mute people on your team if they aren't in your 4-man group. I think this is really cool because sometimes you have people who are extremely annoying and you can't even mute them. You just have to listen to it or quit the game. Another very important thing is that the signature skills passive gain from killing NPCs has been removed in the Last Stand. Regular talents are okay though. So if you are passively getting your super back by killing NPCs, just trying to help it move faster, that is no longer going to be a thing. You cannot kill NPCs to help get your super back, so your extra damage or your extra life or your shield, that kind of stuff is not gonna go back any faster just by killing NPCs, and that's only been taken out of the Last Stand game mode. So in the regular open world you should be okay, but in Last Stand that is not going to fly anymore. Now some fortification turrets line of sights have been improved, and they can also no longer shoot through walls. Apparently that was a thing. There's fixed a bug where players could be stuck in loading when starting back-to-back games. Fixed a bug where players could shoot through the tactical locations on some maps. Fixed a bug where using recovery link in proximity of an enemy who used recovery link just before would lead to the skill being unusable after its cooldown. I'm sure a lot of you who have played Last Stand know that occasionally you will be down and someone will pop a recovery link and the green light will shoot out of your back, but you won't get up. I'm hoping this is what they're talking about. It's not really a good indication of what they're talking about, but I hope this is it. So if your enemy, hey, what's going on, Cracker Jacks? Shout out to Cracker Jacks 35, the homie stream team. But anyway, you can stop with the Discord. Click. All right, so if one of the enemies was about to die and they use their super and you use your super around the same time, that would stop you from getting any kind of activity from that super and picking people up. We'll have to see. Hopefully when I play some Last Stand, if I go down and somebody uses, I'll probably ask Cracker Jacks, use the super to pick me up, and we'll see if that stuff still works or if it's still broken the way that it has been. Hopefully they fixed it, because that was really, really annoying. Now another thing is in the world, talking about the open world, just the regular world, I guess the non-dark zone, the light zone, or however you want to call it. You guys can check the patch for this, but there's one thing that I wanted to talk about, as in improvements are made in the collision and cover to cover in several areas of the map. There's a lot of places where you figure you'd have cover, or you could go into cover, but you couldn't. Hopefully they fix that, but we will see. If you want to read the rest of the world stuff, if you can see it on the screen, then great. If not, you can go ahead and check it out. Now moving on to the dark zone, talking about some of the things that I think are important. They added rewards for clearing the landmarks in the DZ. Players will now receive DZ experience, currency, as well as non-contaminated items directly into their inventory. So before, I think over the weekend, I did a stream where I ran around in the dark zone before any of the homies came on, and I cleared out a landmark and I didn't get anything for it, like nothing at all. So hopefully now you'll be able to get something. You'll be able to get an item. It didn't say if exotics were a chance. I hope they are. It would be really cool if you could get an exotic for that. But yeah, you should be able to get something, and you'll get some experience, and you should be able to get some DZ credits. So that's pretty good. Now there's another thing they've significantly, and they made it a point to write significant level design changes and improvements were made to several locations in the Dark Zone to limit unfair encounters. What this means basically is that there are probably going to be some changes in the design, maybe some corners that got fixed or some things that just weren't right, where people could sneak up on you, gank you, or it just didn't work out where you had no way to get to that enemy. Kind of like the, I guess it's called Coward's Corner. Maybe they changed some more things and fixed that. So we'll see what happens once the update goes live. It's not live at the recording of this, but by the time you guys see it, you should know what the deal is. But right now, I have no idea, but that's what it should be. All right, so moving on to the UI, some things that I thought were worth talking about in the UI, and they've got a whole bunch of red stuff on the screen. So they added a new setting to allow players to adjust the aim sensitivity while looking through a scope. This is probably the most annoying thing that I hated the most about the game since day one. I'm pretty sure when I made the video about how balanced was not all that it was cracked up to be, the video that I made over a year ago, that I talked about aiming down sight and not having the speed. I think I did. I'm not sure if I did in that video, but it was something that really annoyed the hell out of me. But now that's supposed to be fixed. So snipers rejoice. We can now aim and track our targets as they run across the screen and not have to worry about it moving slow like molasses, which it does right now. So I'm really, really happy about that. And we should be able to have the shoulder lateral speed and vertical speed go at the same rate as when aiming down sight as when we shoulder it. So I'm really happy, really, really happy about that. Outside of the loadouts, that's probably my #1 greatest rejoice for in terms of the fixes. Now, fixes to several instances of incoherent GPS pathfinding. So I'm pretty sure most of you have gotten some GPS lines and they tell you to go one way and you end up somewhere you didn't want to go, or something like that's supposed to be fixed. So good to hear about that. Now, they fixed a bug where grenade types would change position randomly in the grenade wheel. This is annoying as hell. I'm glad they finally decided to fix that. That was so stupid. Sometimes I thought I had the flame grenade, the incendiary grenade, and I throw it, and then it was a damn shock or a smoke grenade, and I did not understand that. But apparently that is supposed to be fixed. Hurrah! And they fixed a bug where the appearance vendor menu couldn't be closed when it was empty. Fixed a bug when acquiring new vanity items where the amount of new items would also show in the pouch tab. And fixed a bug where comparing items from a vendor menu where the stats displayed for the equipped item could be incorrect. So we will see about those things. Now, moving on to the PC specific stuff, we're almost done here. I'm not a PC player, so I don't know what all of the real problems PC players have. If you are a PC player and some of these things that I do or don't cover in the PC specific area are a big issue, please leave it in the comment section to let me know so that I know what PC players are having the most trouble with and struggling with, and if any of these patches worked out for you and if they have improved the overall experience of the game for you. So getting on to the list that I've made, even though I'm not a PC player, they added new control setting to allow players to select their gamepad detection mode. They fixed a bug where pressing escape to go out of stash menu made the UI disappear until you pressed escape again. They fixed a bug where players were unable to scroll through their contaminated items if they had more than 5 items. And from what I can see, several improvements were made to improve frame rate and reduce stuttering when using DirectX 12. So yeah, those are some of the things that they talk about. If you're a PC player, you may want to go back and check out some of these things and see exactly what changes they made. If you can't read what's on the screen, hopefully it's zoomed in enough you can see it. And lastly, we're in the other. I'll just cover all 3 of these because it's only 3. They fixed a bug where players could be disconnected from a game after buying premium credits, and they fixed a bug on Xbox One where the game could crash when finishing a streaming installation, and then fixed several instances of appearance items causing graphical glitches and clipping. So these are just random things that happened, and they fixed those. So that is pretty much it for the 1.6.1 patch notes. Hopefully all of this stuff will work out well. If there's anything here that you think was really important that I didn't cover, leave it in the comment section and let other people know, and let's have a discussion about it. If there's anything that you think should be fixed or that hasn't been fixed, leave a comment in the comments and let me know as well, and then we could probably talk about that. Maybe I'll bring it up in another video. And yeah, we'll see if we can get some light shed on some of these things to make the game a better game. I know a lot of people want this game to live up to the hype and be the best game that it can be, and I know a lot of people hate the game and they think it's shit. So no matter what side of the fence you're on, at the end of the day, we're all gamers, and a lot of people have paid money and people want to enjoy their game. So whether you like it or not, the Division is here, and you know, hopefully they'll improve the game and it'll get better. And good luck to the people at the ETF this week. I hope you guys do a very good job of letting the developers know what it is that the community wants and what people like me really want to see to help improve the game and make it an overall better experience for everyone. So on that note, I am Khan, Mr. So Real. If you enjoyed this, please remember to hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. I do cover the Division quite a bit. I took a little bit of a slack. I did cover the weekly reset every week, even though I wasn't playing the game as much as I used to. But I'm kind of coming back, and I got some people to play with. If you haven't seen the stream teams, you definitely want to check out those videos. They're hilarious. They're parts from some of my streams that happen on the weekend. You can find me on Twitch at Con_Mr. So Real. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at the same handle. And yeah, pretty much I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll try to post some footage of something later on, but I definitely wanted to get this out to you so that you guys had a kind of a heads up on what was important and what things you should be on the lookout for with this 1.6.1 patch, and hopefully some of this stuff will improve the quality of life. So with all that said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Have a great day and a great week. Peace.